Portland, Oregon. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Nadal over in Portland, Oregon, over at Nature Cures Clinic. And boy, do we have a treat for you today. Here we have live soon, Dr. Eckel will be presenting on just so many different facets of immune health and some of the things that we can do to actually have a completely different approach and strategy to optimize everything we can do, especially with everything that's been going on the last couple of years. So just a little bit of information on Dr. Eckel. He's been out here in Portland, Oregon since '92. For a while, he became aware of and concerned about all the overuse of medications with children while he was actually teaching preschool. And this experience actually inspired his entry into naturopathic medicine, Chinese medicine. And in 2001, he co-founded Nature Cures Clinic. He's been combining naturopathic and Chinese medicine, and this has provided him with a variety of tools to treat both acute and chronic illness, while valuing the principles of prevention and wellness. So with a very warm welcome and with much excitement, Dr. Eckel, please share with us your knowledge.
Great to see you all and welcome aboard. We actually had a few extra people join, which is awesome. I wanted to start out, some of you know my story. Some of you don't, some of you are new here. Thank you for showing up. I'm so excited to share this info with you. I was at a music festival 11 years ago is when I met Soraya, and she basically turned my life upside down. 6'1", goddess of a woman. And, we met at the medical shift and I just felt like the aliens had put her on the planet, as I'd never met another being on the planet like her. And 6 years ago, a couple years later, we blended our families. It was her 2 kids, my 3 kids, our 2 dogs. We even had a maid named Alice, very similar to the Brady Bunch. And 6 years ago, we blended our medical practices together. And she was a certified nurse midwife, nurse practitioner. I'm an integrative naturopathic Chinese medicine provider. And, we are living the good life. After 6 years ago, we moved, and on that move, we lost, you tend to lose things on a move. And it was this one orange Fiesta Ware plate that went missing. And it was, things get lost in moves. You might be thinking big whoop. I definitely did. Our kids did. Was like, geez, Soraya, like, what's up with the orange Fiesta Ware plate? Once, twice looking for it, through the kitchen cupboards, into the pantry, down the hall where we kept the hiking gear, finally out into the garage, and then up the ladder to the attic. But it became like this eerie Groundhog Day. And we also started to notice that she was repeating herself more frequently. And, I just chalked it up to the stress of moving, right? It's stressful. It's top 5 mover in life, stressor in life. But, then the reality struck. A couple months after the move, my office manager, Chelsea, came to me and said, "Hey, Doc, Soraya just left the building." I said, what are you talking about? She left the building. She's like, yeah, she just strolled out in her lab jacket and stethoscope, just wandering the streets of Portland. And it was at that moment in time, I knew, I needed to grow up. I needed to do something here. So we cleared the schedule and we had to go looking for, what was going on with her. It was very quick. It was very fast paced, and there was a lot of unknowns. And, that whole process, many of you are on your health journey, and I can relate firsthand, having a loved one, being in medical practice for 21 years, but going through it with your wife, partner, life partner, etc. It changes you, and it changes. Wasn't anticipating that, but it really brought it home to me. The whole process. Basically you go out looking for solutions. And at some point for me, while I wasn't able to find a solution for her, that's what we're sharing with you all on our list, on our mailing list, in our community, in our clinic. And I did not want my suffering for naught. Unfortunately, I always said Soraya was 1 in 1 million, and unfortunately, the experts agreed. She got a diagnosis of Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, CJD, and it's a very rare disorder, 1 in 1 million. About 300 cases, 300 plus cases a year in North America. And I get it. It's lonely out there. There's not a lot of support for folks, especially in a neurodegenerative component. I don't want I don't want you to do it alone. We have a roadmap. This whole process has split me open as a human on the planet in such a weird way. After going through the grief and the loss, it really reinstated my faith in the oneness of reality of what we're doing here. And really putting the stakes in the ground, taking a stand for our health, and being a guide for others on this journey. And so I just want you to hear from me. You don't have to go it alone. This topic is near and dear to me today. I'm really glad that you all showed up. We will have a recording of it. So I'm going to be sharing a ton of information. Dr. Nadal's on for support here. Look in that chat box. If you have specific questions, you can put it in there. We're in this together now more than ever, right? We don't know, we don't have trusted sources. The information isn't coming from the top down, and I could not remain muzzled anymore with looking at the research. I'm going to share the citations here. And we also, Dr. Nadal and we put together our best proposal on, what it looks like to work with us going forward, in particular around immune system. I mean, we're fielding so many questions every day about what to do, where to go, what do we believe? And the information just isn't what it should be. It has me scratching my head. And so I wanted to get out and educate people about there's a lot that we can do. I personally went through the Delta variant, so I'm going to share that story today. And I want to share my tried and true immune secrets with you today. So, without further ado there, I want to come in on sharing my screen again here. We'll get that going for you, and we'll launch in. So the 3 best super easy get through cold and flu season thriving lecture. So here we go. What we're going to learn, so many times people aren't talking about your innate immune system. So we're going to learn about what that is, how to strengthen that innate immunity, why vitamin C may not be your only ally on this journey, and what to take instead and or in addition to. And then one of my tried and true and favorite things is what is the wet sock treatment? Now, I see some folks raising hands. I think just put your questions in the chat box. We're going to take questions at the end. Dr. Nadal is going to collate those and bring them together. So hang tight there. We've got a lot of material to go through here. So I want to share with you my favorite superhero. This came about as a result in the 2005 flu vaccine shortage. If you all remember that, it was big front page news. We don't have enough flu vaccine. What do we do? A lot of fear. And I got creative, and I embarrassed the heck out of my kids because I dressed up as my favorite superhero, which is the scripted innate immunity. Of course, it was a red caped character with a red mask on, and he handed out scrolls, messages from your innate immunity, your own innate immune system. This is what I talk about. What we do every day here in the clinic is, we do a lot of nothing. We hold space for your innate intelligence and the medicines to come together, and from there the healing occurs. It's your body healing itself. Our jobs as physicians is docere. Doctor is teacher. That's the root word of doctor. That art has been lost in medicine. We teach you about what your options are and what we remove obstacles to cure. So that is that's my favorite superhero, and may your innate intelligence and your innate immunity be yours as well, because we all have this cellular immunity. So innate immunity is also known as cellular immunity. Every cell of the body has its own defense mechanism. We are not deficient in any rhyme or reason. So the first part of the body to detect invaders such as viruses, bacteria, parasites, toxins. It also senses wounds or trauma as well. So from there, we are going, it activates cells to attack and destroy the outsider, or to initiate repair. Our cells do that. We don't need an immune system on top of that. So when we talk about antibodies or other components like that, that's the second tier of our immune system that everybody jumps into. But the first part is our cellular immunity. So we want to be able to really beef up our own cellular response. So, you know, why vitamin C isn't your only ally and what you should take instead. So here's my big disclaimer. No supplements can prevent or treat COVID-19 or other illnesses because we don't have the research on it. But a combination of healthy lifestyle practices and the responsible use of science-backed supplements can keep the immune system functioning at its best. A strong immune system is your best defense against germs you may encounter. Those are all factual statements right there, my friends. And so the allies, so evidence suggests that despite our best intentions to eat right and exercise, life's daily stressors often get in our way. Many Americans face nutritional gaps in areas that directly support our immune system. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's 2020 to 2025 dietary guidelines estimates that 90% of Americans are deficient in vitamin D. Vitamin D is linked to an optimum immune system response. And in light of our current situation in the world, you know, there is here, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So on this graph, on the left side of the graph, we have percentage on death rate. And on the lower axis of the graph, we have vitamin D concentration in the blood. So the XY axis, right? So here's the age, the percentage of death rate. And then here we've got on vitamin D concentration. You can see as you move out with higher and higher concentrations of vitamin D in your blood, you have less and less risk of death from COVID. So this is in the research. Now, this is just one picture. So there has recently in October, massive meta-analysis came out. This is the title of the study. COVID-19 mortality risk correlates inversely with vitamin D3 status. Now, I've been saying this from the very start of the pandemic, but now we have more and more information, and mortality rate close to zero could theoretically be achieved at 50 nanograms per milliliter of vitamin D level in your blood. This is results of a systematic review and meta-analysis I put for those perfectionists and or scientists in the group. If you want to see the PubMed study and go through the meta-analysis yourself, there it is. And you know, here was their conclusion. We recommend raising serum vitamin D levels to above 50 nanograms per milliliter to prevent or mitigate new outbreaks due to escape mutations or decreasing antibody activity. So let me just read that again. So we recommend raising serum vitamin D levels to above 50 nanograms per milliliter to prevent or mitigate new outbreaks due to escape mutations or decreasing antibody activity. If you want to get out of the current event fear cycle that is being generated on every mutation and change of a virus, then it is time to take your health into your own hands and get educated, but actually get into action. And that's what we have developed for you. It's what we're doing ourselves. And so this one, vitamin D is a big one that you should know about. I'm guessing most of you on my email list know about that. But I wanted to share that is a latest greatest, right, hot off the press. Other science-backed nutrients that are important for the immune system. Vitamin C. So I don't want to, I live in Portland, Oregon here, and it is the home of Linus Pauling. So of course, we got to talk about vitamin C. It's an essential vitamin, acts as an antioxidant to support the body's natural immune defenses. Vitamin E, fat soluble antioxidant, plays a role in antibody production, natural killer cell activity. Selenium, an essential mineral that supports innate and adaptive immunity. Zinc, essential mineral with antiviral and antimicrobial activity. And omega-3 fatty acids are important mediators of inflammation and immune function, among others. Now, I'm not recommending you run out and get all of this. What I personally used was vitamin D. At first signs of an illness, you're taking a super mega dose of vitamin D. First 3 days of feeling ill, you're taking 100,000 IUs. Now, again, little disclaimer, I'm not giving medical advice. This is what I personally use. If you guys have any issues, if you come down with COVID or other colds and flus this winter, please call us and get in communication with us. We are going to give you an opportunity at the end also to step into a bigger role with us as well and engagement. But for right now, I wanted to provide tremendous value here. I will tell you, I have Delta variant. It is not an easy virus, folks. Like, it's real. It laid me out. I was sick for 2 weeks, high fever, excruciating pain. It's not a fun ride. I was sick. I was exercising my immune system, healthy fever. My recommendation around that is to not take antipyretics and don't squelch the fever. Again, get in communication with your provider around specifics for you. This is what I did. 50,000 IUs for the next 3 days. And then I continued at a 4,000 to 10,000 daily dose while ill. Zinc, 1 tablet twice a day, 30 milligrams. If you're using it prophylactically, which I would recommend, just going into the winter months here for cold and flu season, you want to take zinc with copper, because zinc by itself will deplete your body's stores of copper. Quercetin, 2 tablets twice a day, so that's 500 milligrams each. So you're taking 1,000 milligrams in the morning, 1,000. I took 1,000 morning, 1,000 at night. Vitamin C, I was taking 4 grams or 4,000 milligrams a day, divided doses of the vitamin C. And that was kind of on the basics. These are the basics. And we have included those in a plan and program if you stay to the end to listen to that. I wanted to share with you the wet sock treatment. Now, this is naturopathic hydrotherapy at its best. It's great for the top of the chest up. So any symptoms, what does that mean? Any symptoms. So you have definitely anything, sore throat, raw throat, etc. Any mucus up in, is awesome for sinus infections, things that start up in the head. You get full stuffiness, any yellow snot, clear snot, white snot. Yep, we talk about all of the rainbow colors coming out of your nose, even green. Well, what is it? You need 2 pairs of socks, a thin cotton and a wool, and then you need a hot foot bath before bed, as hot as it goes. So you're not burning your feet, but you want to get it hot. You want your feet to be nice and pink when you pull them out. The thin cotton socks, you wring them out underneath the spigot as cold as it goes. You pull those cold socks right over your warm, hot feet, and you pull the wool socks directly over them. And then you go directly to bed. You do not pass go. You go right to bed. Now, I hear some of you out there thinking, is that doctor lost his mind? No, this goes back, way back, I think even into the 1700s of hydrotherapy, the application of hot and cold to the body. What does it do? When you lay down at night and you get tired and sleep, your circulation slows. So what this does, the hot pulls the blood down to your feet, the cold pushes it away. So in the morning, your socks will actually be very dry. And it is creating a pump. It opens your nose, it opens the chest, and it helps your immune system um, doing its work at nighttime when it's usually a little bit less active or engaged. So the wet sock treatment, the first signs of any illness, any sniffles, scratchy throat, sneezing, etc., start doing the wet sock treatment. And then do it throughout the whole course. If you happen to get sick, continue to do the wet sock treatment. This is a home remedy. It works. It's on our handouts here for cold and flu season. I love it as getting you engaged and also really ultimately engaging your immune system. All right. Let me make sure that we are recording. Yes, we are. Good. So, whoop. So what it looks like in 3 months, because this has been an intense 2-year period. So in talking to people about concerns, questions, what do we do? I would say, imagine feeling confident in your plan, that you know your body. We're not just going to guess. We're going to look under the hood, so to speak. You gain immediate insights into your situation. There's no more guessing. You get into action and you have more certainty in your future. You're not at the whim and will of the news cycles of like, what in the world is coming? I mean, we've got now almost a PTSD situation in the population on the news cycle. And that, guess what happens when you go into fear or into that situation is you go into your limbic system and your animalistic brain. You're not able to actually access your frontal lobe, which is your executive functioning creativity. You're not able to come up with creative solutions, or what I like to say in equanimity, you're not able to flow like water around any perceived obstacles that arise in your life. This is for folks that are feeling kind of stuck in this freeze mode of like, not sure when the other shoe's going to drop, like not sleeping well, higher anxiety states. We've seen anxiety and depression go through the roof. We've seen overdoses on medications go through the roof this last year too, because we just don't have great coping skills. So what we wanted to do, Dr. Nadal and I, is come up with a plan and program that provides some certainty so that you know that you're doing everything that you can for you and your family and then your community. So get into action so that you have more certainty in your future. All of the research in the world are debating on this study or that study or picking them apart isn't really going to move the needle for you, your health, and your peace of mind. And ultimately, you no longer have to go it alone. You have trusted guides and actual people to talk with. When I went through it, I went through a medical system here in Portland. It's like you cannot talk to real people anymore. You know, unfortunate for me, I don't know if you've had this experience or not, but I had 2 medical charts made, and the one that I had access to didn't have any of the results or data in. And the one that I didn't have access to, I still cannot access my medical record. And I can't talk to a real person on the phone. You know, at our clinic, you get a real person. We're real people talking to you right now. Like, you don't have to go it alone. Like the heart is gone out of medicine and it's overwhelmed, right? And so we're trying to prevent that from happening for you, your families. So there's a ton that we can do. So what I would love to share what we put together for you. So, you know, taking a look, would that be okay with everybody? Maybe give me a quick raise of hands if that's okay. If you want to hear what we put together, this is something awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And then we'll put those back down. Awesome. You know, I'm calling it the superhuman plan. Because this is a comprehensive program. This is what I want for me. This is what I want for my family. And in that component of what I shared with you of being kind of ripped open as a human on the planet and understanding the oneness of all, like it's us, like that is all of us. If we haven't met personally, I really do mean it. Like we're out to change healthcare. And we do that one person at a time. And that's you all on this webinar listening. And this is the program that we're doing. And we've got, I didn't bring the props, but I'll describe them to you. So we really want to personalize the plan. You know, it's not cookie cutter medicine. It's not just like, well, here's the regime. This is what you should take. Everybody is so different. Why is it that we know exactly who is most at risk for dying of COVID, and yet there's been no individualized or personalized program for those folks? Why is it? Why is everybody blanketed under the same mandates, basically, that really aren't changing anything of the outcome for anybody? I mean, you look at these different states that we live here in the US, and whatever your politics are, if you just look at the numbers, they're basically the same numbers across the board, regardless of what the public health policies were. So what does that mean? We need to individualize plans for people, so it's customizable medicine. We create the personal plan together. 8 sessions to make space to collaborate on your treatment plan based on the data that we collect as the test results are returned. And I'm going to go through the testing bank here. You meet with the entire Nature Cures Clinic team, the doctors, our health coaches, support staff, everybody, our patient ambassadors is what we call them. We really, we want you to be embraced and held and understand you have a whole team with you on this journey. It's not just you like bushwhacking through the wilderness. I know, I've been there, and it's a very lonely place to be. So the next piece is testing. This, I just see people are not getting adequate workups. So even if you're not local, we have a testing company that you can go, you got to get your blood drawn. I mean, that is a piece of this, because that vitamin D research is that important. So we do an annual blood work. This is everything that's included in there. This plus a couple other pieces this is over $1,200 of testing. Now you're going to see it's not going to cost that much, but that's what people do charge for this extensive test bank that we are recommending. This is our superhuman plan. Like, this is where I want people to get. We do IL-6, which is an inflammatory marker. We look at other viruses, cytomegalovirus, Epstein-Barr virus. What is your viral load? What is going on with your system? We look at your microbiome. That's the GI maps. We look at the Dutch test. We look at food sensitivities. These are tests that we send right to your door. There's a stool test. There's a urine test. There's a finger stick. Mycotoxin testing. Mold is a huge drag on our immune systems, and you got to rule it in or rule it out. We're talking about superhuman. Like, we've turned over every stone for you to make sure we know what's the best program plan for you to be on. The treatment, we're putting in a supplement bank, so you don't even have to think about it. We have new bioenergetic scans, which I am so excited about. This Nest Health. We do a voice scan that then has programmable bioenergetic infoceuticals. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. Peptides, they're all the rage. These are things that we can do to help enhance the programs of your own immune system. I travel with peptides around the country and globe at this point because they're going to be kind of the new bioidentical hormones in a decade. They're that potent and work that well. A Weber wristwatch. This is like totally sci-fi that I pulled in from Germany, and it's photobiomodulation on the wrist. You put you look funky. Dr. Nadal can attest to this at the end. He saw a picture of me with it on. I got a UV light up in here, and I got a tongue probe in here with light. It's light that gets sensitive. You take riboflavin, it sensitizes your body of the viruses that attracts the light in, and it basically, you know, in 5 days reduced 100% of fevers. Very useful technology. I love it. It's where we're going with our medicine here. The supplement bank. So from your results, we customize and personalize. At the base, we have zinc, we got quercetin, we got vitamin C, and we got vitamin D. One of the first steps that happens immediately on enrolling is we send you a link to do a voice scan. So this Nest Health Bioenergetics Wellness System, so it for short BWS, it's designed to read and communicate. It basically is like me or Dr. Nadal taking your Chinese medicine pulses in your living room with you. I have been correlating our pulse taking with the bioenergetic voice scan. Now, there's PubMed research on this. All of the pulses have a certain frequency or wavelength, and it also gets equated into the nervous system. So what we're picking up on the voice, it's cranial nerve 10, the vagus nerve, that goes through the vocal cords. And so there's a bioresonance that gets set up. Now that technology is much more to go into than right here during this presentation, but I will tell you, it gives us some uncanny results, and it gives us a wealth of information to talk to you with about your health. People are always surprised, like, wow, you picked all of that up from my voice scan. The peptides. So what are they? Like you've been hearing about them out there. These are chains of amino acids. They come from proteins. So proteins are chains of amino acids. They're small programs. It's like you put a little computer program in to run a certain program of your biochemistry. So a peptide to boost hormones, a peptide to influence your immune system, peptides to help you lose belly fat and increase muscle mass. There's peptides to increase your deep sleep. One of the best known peptides out there is insulin. Like we've all heard of insulin for diabetes. Well, what is insulin? Insulin is a peptide. So these things, they've been around over 90 years. There is a tremendous amount of research on it. You know, one of the components of it is you can't trademark these things because they're natural amino acid chains. So that's why you don't see them. They're not advertised on TV. They're not getting peddled to the doctors in their offices. There aren't reps coming around to talk about peptides. So these are really up and comers and really powerful to add into a superhuman program on resiliency. The three that we're really focused in on for this program, thymulin, thymosin beta-4, and CJC 1295 ipamorelin, which these are mouthfuls, right? Thymulin is definitely an immune stimulant. It's running immune programs. Thymosin beta-4 is running immune programs, but also repair mechanisms if you have any inflammation in your body. CJC ipamorelin, this is a growth hormone, will stimulate growth hormone. It's not for everybody, but these are the three main ones that we're considering as part of the superhuman program on immune resiliency. That one is interesting because it will help you also, it will build muscle mass, not to like become like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but put some tone on your muscles. So as we age, we know frailty is a big issue. As you know, we see our elderly kind of wither away. Well, we want to maintain muscle mass. So the CJC is in there for that. It will also help if you have like the last 10 to 15 pounds through that midsection, it'll help melt that off of the mid belly. We know having that extra fat or adipose is actually a risk factor for viral illness and severity of illness. And then it also increases deep sleep. So a lot of folks watching and viewing have neurodegeneration as well. And so having a peptide to help produce deep sleep is when your brain detoxifies and gets washed with the lymphatics. It's the lymphatics of the brain to help detox and cleanse the brain. So that's why we put those three in on this program. The Weber laser wristwatch. So that's one of my favorite gizmo gadgets. And I used it personally to overcome and get through really well with no long haulers issue, no post-viral syndrome, nothing like that. It's a low-level laser therapy right on it at home. It's an amazing kit to have as part of your home kit. You know, we're going to see permutations and revolutions of different viruses coming down the pike. And I just want everybody to have their home kits set up and ready to go. You know, if we're not able to deliver medicines through the mail, etc., you know, I'm just creating some opportunities, right? I'm not saying that's happening. I'm not a doomsdayer, but you know, there are supply chain issues happening, right? We're all experiencing that. So having something where for you, your family that you've got that's very versatile, this was one of the best things that I could find. Thankfully, I got turned on to this not too far into my own illness, and it really was a game changer for me. So it's surgical lasers destroy tissues and cells. Soft lasers like this Weber wristwatch, it floods the body with energy. It can help modulate immune system, help repair processes. It clears cellular debris, etc. So it's we got some really great research rolling in on that Weber watch. Here is the punchline of this thing. Again, if you're interested, we wanted just to provide you, this is the best thing that we could come up with. We've got your cost versus the retail cost. Dr. Nadal is actually going to put in the URL for the link over to this on our website. This is telling you everything that's included with all of the medicine. So the retail cost is $24,000, which that's an investment, right? Where we really tried to get it down to as affordable of a program as possible, down to $13,335. This is the program that I would choose if I were you. It is very comprehensive and looking at all of the different facets of the immune system and what goes in on that. I want to make sure everybody saw that link. I'm going to unmute Doc Nadal. I can come back to the slide at the end, but I definitely wanted to make sure we had time for some questions here at the end. And if you stay through the questions, we'll have a special code for you. So stay to the end. Let's have a conversation. I'm really psyched that you all showed up for this today. You're going to get the replay as well. We are here to serve you in a big way. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be speaking up more now as we go forward. The latest permutation and news cycle just got to me to the point of like, this is ridiculous. One of the memes that I've seen out there, well, I'll share the meme for at the end there. So we'll do that off the recording. So many blessings. Let me stop the share here. We're going to open this up this way. Let me check here. Awesome. Good. All right. Perfect. Okay. So, awesome. So let's see, what kind of questions do we have out there? Did we get any questions in there? Or no questions?
No, just one in there, more or less. But yeah, feel free.
All right. Well, you've got two doctors on the line here, folks. So would love to hear from you. Here's a couple. Can you do some of the tests and not the whole package? So, that's a great question. And I always ask, like, why would you change the program? So what would be the intent? I wanted to present the superhuman, the best package, because, there is enough mediocrity out there in the world. And I'm really taking a stand against the average. If we're going to be average in this day and age, you can just look at it out there, like what is going on in the world. That's average, and it's just not pretty. And so I want to really take a stand for everybody and create this program. So question on, have you been vaccinated against COVID? I have natural immunity at this point. Doc, you're welcome to answer or not answer. On that?
No, it's personal health information. It's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be discussed.
That's fine. So it's, I'm not sure on the anonymous attendee, or I think George also asked that too. I've got better immunity than really the majority of people on the planet. So it is a very individualized choice. I mean, I guess I could share the meme now of what I saw. It made me kind of chuckle around, the two things that the vaccinated, those that are vaccinated and not vaccinated have in common is neither of them will be fully vaccinated. So that's why I developed this program. I don't see any light. It doesn't make good public policy. As far as a solution for us, we don't have a solution, right? We're seeing breakthrough cases, etc. I think that having a better game plan that actually will move the needle for everybody involved. We support everybody, folks that are vaccinated, folks that are not vaccinated. Again, it is a very individualized choice. And we want to there's room for all of that at the table. There's not an either or solution. It's much more nuanced than what is being presented. So I'm not exactly sure where that question comes from. However, we'll keep fielding some questions from you all.
Yeah, it looks like there's a couple coming up on the chat as well. Just ideas of like zinc and higher dosages. Are you able to see the chat?
I am. Yeah. So higher doses of zinc daily, 100 milligrams. So that, again, it looks at, when you start getting up into mega doses. So we have the zinc and the quercetin as part of our package and program because the zinc sensitizes the cell to allow the quercetin into the cell that stops viral replication. And so that's on the doses that we're recommending. It was out of the best science to date that we could find. So we're going off of, what the evidence is showing. You may have practitioners saying take more. More is not always better on that front. The CRP tested, would this indicate no worries about current infections at this point? If it's below 5, I'm not sure what that means, Connie. So on CRP should be less than 2. Otherwise, you have inflammation in your body. And so you want to always ask the question, why? Why do you have inflammation? Vitamin D without K2. So with the D and K2, yeah, long-term use of D, you would like to have some K2 in there as well. I have folks eating more green leafy vegetables. It's for short periods of time that I'm recommending for myself what I took and what we do for our patients. Again, I'm going to put the asterisk around that. Don't implement these without talking to your medical provider. This is for information purposes only. These are not our recommendations for you as an individual. It's our general plan and program to have a discussion with us around. So yeah, want to make sure of that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was 0.5. So that is a very low component of CRP. So that just means that you don't have the inflammation, which is awesome. There are 7 different paths that your immune system could be functioning in general. And so that's looking at just one inflammatory marker, which is great to have. I would say the vitamin D level is the biggest component here to move the needle. Let's see, what else do we have? We got, is all vitamin C created equally? How do you want to handle that one, doctor?
I do like when it's in the entire molecule. So there's some supplement brands do have it where it's the full vitamin C, especially if it's food based. I think Mega Foods, even Garden of Life, some of them do have it in that form. I think it's better. I think it's more natural and our body knows what to do with it. The ascorbic acid is just a small part of it and it could still be beneficial. But ideally, yeah, if it could be sourced as the whole form, I think it is better.
Yeah. So with regards to today's presentation, any specifics? You guys have any other questions for us? Because we're going to sign off and get back in with our day.
Couple others on the Q&A. Yeah. with the NAC, I mean, if you're already taking it, it is great for to produce the surfactant like that, what helps to release and kind of open up some of the airways, and it's also great for the liver. So if you're already doing it, it's great. But as far as what we put together for that baseline, those core supplements, we didn't include it in there. But if you're already doing it, it's good. I don't know if you'd agree.
Yeah, and it wasn't a comprehensive list again. So what we're going for is really individualizing a plan and program for you all. We'll put we got it at naturecuresclinic.com/superhuman.